Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about the green cards of Modern Horizons 2 today. This is going to be my favorite section, even though I'm pretty sure that none of these cards are good. Um, that's the life of a green player. I don't know. But we'll start off real quick today with Abundant Harvest, which is a common that Eli put on our list here.
Yeah, so obviously the first green card is not a big creature. It's a stupid cantrip. But it is a pretty good cantrip as far as like green cards go. You get to pick land or spell, and you get whatever one rolls off the top of your deck. This kind of is in the same realm as Ancient Stirrings if you're a land-based deck. So might be it might be a Tron card if you are interested in a couple more copies of Ancient Stirrings. It's just generally powerful though. If you're like a teamer deck, that wants cantrips, like that's a good home for this as well because we've seen that in Historic. But yeah, this is it doesn't look great, but it's more powerful than you think it is. I will say that.
I just misread this, and I was about to make an idiot of myself and say, "Bro, it's broken with Seismic Assault. You just name land and hit all the lands in your deck."
No, that's a Treasure Hunt.
That's Treasure Hunt.
Not the same card.
Yeah, Seismic Assault's sick though. Next up, we do have Blessed Respite. So we're going through green cards, and we're not even starting off with any like
Big dumb idiots.
Big dumb idiots.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
What am I here for? Why am I sitting here?
It's kind of Time Spiral vibes, dude. The creatures aren't that thick.
Blessed Respite. It's an instant. Shuffles graveyard and prevents damage.
Yeah, so this is kind of a weird card because it's like a fog and a graveyard hate spell. So like if you need a sideboard that does double duty, like you want to stop Hammer Time and Infect, and also you want to like stop mill. Does a target opponent stop Thassa's Oracle?
It's target player.
Yeah, so you can stop Thassa's Oracle triggers.
Yeah.
Which is something that not a lot of sideboard cards do in the color green. We'll get to that later though. So this is like Graveyard Hate plus Fog. Fog's kind of narrow. Graveyard Hate's pretty widely applicable, but kind of a weird sideboard card. Not going to come up a lot, but when it does come up, it could be a smart inclusion.
Next up, we get to our first sort of on-rate creature card. It's not huge, but it is funny, and it is your Squirrel Commander from here until the end of time. It is Chatterfang, the Squirrel General.
Well, we wanted to put all the mythics into the review, even though some of them are memes. If you want to do this, great. Go to crazy. That's all I have to say.
If you want to play squirrels in Modern, you got your cards now. You can play bears last set. You got your squirrels now.
Yeah, it's important that we support these players, you know?
This is going to be like EDH Palooza. Good thing it's green and black so that you can play black with it, but...
Yeah, just a little bit more diversity.
Go get those squirrel tokens, folks.
Yeah, go nuts. Don't let me be a hater.
We've got, speaking of squirrels, where did it go? I just saw it.
The Storm card?
Yeah, Chatterstorm.
Yeah. So, Chatterstorm, I think it's going to be worse than Empty the Warrens in most situations because you get, it's half, first of all, it's half of one, and it's not really something that you want. It's not like an effect that you want half of. And it's green, which is awkward. But, like, it's a storm wind condition, so it's going on the list.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's a little bit awkward, like, I don't know, maybe there is some sort of, like, maybe there's a green shell that comes out of this set where you want this as your win con, but, like, it's not going to see play unless something changes. But storm win cons go on the list. We respect storm win cons in this chat.
It makes squirrels. Whatever. Next up, we have what I hoped for, a very powerful green free evoke creature, and what I got was instead something that I'm probably not going to play because Scavenging Ooze is just better.
Yeah, like...
In Endurance, by the way.
Endurance,
Why do they give these cards Reach? Like, they give all of these cards...
No. Reach is
fine, but, like... Go all out, Wizards of the Coast here. This is. I'm gonna just separate Eli right here and mute him right now. Make this a 5/4 for 3 and give it trample, you cowards. If you're gonna make it so that it like exiles graveyards or does something that doesn't actually affect the board that I care about, at least juice it. Make it huge.
Yeah, like this is just kind of a weird. This is a weird one to pitch cast. Now that Hunter's been rambling, this is a weird one to pitch cast because, like, if you wanted to exile graveyards for free, there's like Tormod's Crypt, so. It's kind of weird in that regard. I guess it's a little bit more flexible. Stop Thassa's Oracle, like we said earlier in the set, which is becoming more and more important to do. The thing that I do like about this card is that you can hardcast this in Legacy and block a Delver. And that's probably the best thing I'm going to say about it. It's nice. It's like it's nice to hardcast. It's like a graveyard hate, get a body. It blocks Prize Amalgams and Delvers. It's not a bad card, but it's just a little bit underwhelming compared to some of the other bangers in this cycle.
Make it bigger, come on, guys. Make it at least a 4/4.
Four.
Make it worth my while.
Four. Yeah. Four.
To collect company
4/4 would
into.
have been nice.
Okie dokie. Going from that, we're going to Foundation Breaker, which is an uncommon from the set here. It is a
Another
3-mana or 4-mana, pardon me, 2/2. It's an evoke creature that destroys an artifact or enchantment. So
Well, we had Ingachua, right?
yeah, pretty industry
Ingachua,
standard.
Big shoes, as we like to call them.
Big Daddy.
That card is great. This card is in a very similar space to this. If you are playing if you're playing a green deck where you want to put creatures in the graveyard, and if you're going red, this is like a good disenchant effect to play in your sideboard. If you're playing a blink deck, this is a good disenchant to have around. It's just a good disenchant. It's not exciting, but it fulfills a role that we haven't seen before. Normally, you'd have to pick between the kill artifact one and the kill enchantment one, and now you can have both.
If you're playing Living End, you can destroy Grafdigger's Cage with this.
Please don't mislead people.
Grafdigger's Cage doesn't work against Living End.
Oh, I went to F&M and I killed a Grafdigger's Cage, but it didn't actually do anything, and now I'm boycotting this channel.
Oh. Okay. Okay, next up, after laughing about that, we have Gaia's Will, which is a rare.
This is the suspend card, so it's gonna be bugged on.
Oh, it's gonna be bugged on our list.
But like
bad.
this one is probably the most okay. So out of all the effects we've seen, this one is definitely the most broad, the most raw power level. It's Yawgmoth's Will, but you have to wait. But the effect, I believe it's green for suspend 4. Hopefully, I'm not wrong on that because we can't see the card. But it's not like the white one where you can just hard cast it and wait 2 turns. You have to wait 4 turns. That's too long, and you can't play like a Yawgmoth, like a deck where you Past in Flames Yawgmoth's Will, storm off to your graveyard, and also play the cascade way to cast these cards. It just that's not gonna work. So the only way to do it is to play Storm with As Foretold, and that's really there's just there are too many hoops to jump through. There are way too many hoops to jump through.
Yeah. So, no.
The
sorry.
white one is the only good one.
Next
which is something I do not get to say.
Yeah. Next up, we have a card that I think just bridges the gap between us. If there's a Venn diagram for Eli and I here,
What card is
it is Ignoble Hierarch, the Goblin himself or herself.
This card, all right. This card is okay. This card is obviously.
This is my favorite card in the set.
powerful.
This is my favorite card.
It's
in the set.
extremely powerful. It's before there were kind of awkward decks where you would be stuck playing Birds of Paradise. We have the Tom Ross, Geralf's Messenger, Yawgmoth deck. We have
the Tom Ross green-black infect deck. The Tom Ross.
There's definitely a lot of black decks that want a mana acceleration that Tom Ross has played. It's also a Goblin. That's nice. Goblins is a deck that kind of relied on drawing Ether Vial a little bit more. One of the things that made humans great is that you had more playable 1-drops than just Ether Vial. That's the problem with Merfolk. That was a problem with Goblins, sort of. Now it's not a problem with Goblins. You can play, easily play enough green sources in Modern to enable this on turn 1, even though it's your only green card. We've seen Bant Spirits do that before. So don't worry about the fact that it's not red. It also goes in red-green arrow decks maybe.
Zoo decks.
Yeah,
those
Zoo
five color decks.
Ponza maybe can play this card.
You could play Jund, Kiki Cord now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, this just.
There's a lot of ways.
This is a great design. It just opens up. It just takes away some of the arbitrary color restrictions in Modern and spreads things out. Great card.
Great name, great card. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for this one. Next up, we've got a bit of a weird one that, in the right deck, might blow up. If there is an Enchantress deck, this goes in it. That's Sanctum Weaver, the 2-mana 0/2 mana dork.
Yeah, kind of awkward that this isn't the white card because it just does. This is an effect from Urza's Saga. It's Sarah's Sanctum, but on a creature that costs 2 mana. It is a 1/2, I believe. So
So 0/2.
It's a perfect 2 toughness. Very important because it does not die to all these random free ping effects that you get in Modern these days. Your Plague Engineers, your Ran 6s. So your Mana Dork's a little bit safer. They have to spend a real card to kill it. And if there is an Enchantress deck, this is going to enable you to make a bunch of mana and then draw a bunch of cards and maybe Widow and tap it. Probably not, but that's like Enchantress decks typically draw a bunch of cards and then their gateway is mana. Problem solved.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
This goes in one deck and that's it. But do you smell that?
What's the bit?
It smells like fear. We've got Smell Fear, the 2-mana sorcery proliferate fight spell that's on our list here, just in case there is some sort of mono green aggro deck that wants an even cheaper fight spell.
Hardened Scales.
Hardened Scales.
That's where my brain went with this one.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit too niche. Hardened Scales creatures aren't usually the biggest, but Proliferate is really powerful in that deck. It's just like a cheap. It's like then you're just paying for the Crusade and not for the fight spell, and you're getting that for free. So I think that it might be a sideboard option for creature matchups for a deck like Hardened Scales.
There you go. Next up, we have well, actually not the last mythic, because green has 4 mythics in this set, but we have Thrasta Tempest's Roar.
Oh, this one.
Which has a lot of mana cost and not a lot of body.
The Questing Beast, maybe?
It's costs 3 to less for each other spell cast this turn, so it's a green storm card. It's Trample Haste, Trample over Planeswalkers, which is sick.
that is. I hope they do that more. Yeah.
And it has Hexproof as long as it enters the battlefield this turn, which is kind of weird.
You get the first turn on the house, basically.
Yeah. I don't really know where this one goes.
Yeah, you'd have to make like a deck for this card, but there are some effects. Burning Tree Emissary, Hidden Herbalists, Manamorphose are all cards that really pair well with this. So maybe there's like a red-green Bushwhacker deck is like the thing that I could see maybe. That's really narrow, but it's a pretty powerful effect in that deck. So maybe worth a night on the town, a quick little F&M.
The only thing about Burning Tree Emissary in this card is obviously the Burning Tree Emissary. It makes green-red and not green-green.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That just build the storm.
Nykthos, maybe,
build
but
storm count.
I think if you're going with the Nykthos route, there's bigger, dumber green creatures you can cheat into play.
It's specifically for Bushwhacker, I think. Red Green Bushwhacker.
Next up, we have Verdant Command. It makes some squirrels. It counters a loyalty ability of a Planeswalker. It exiles a great card, and you gain 3 life. This one seems kind of on the command scale, very, very weak.
Yeah, you're not paying. You're getting what you pay for. You're paying 2 mana for some 1/1s and 3 life. Those are reasonable rates. It's kind of mopey though. Like as a sideboard card, there are better things you could do, and as a main deck card, it doesn't really hit none of the combinations really hit it out of the park. It kind of does a bunch of sideboard effects. So I think this one is a little bit a bait. I wouldn't mess with this one.
Before we get any further, obviously Sylvan Anthem probably doesn't see play in Modern, but in EDH, make sure you pick up this card because this card is nuts. It'll go in every single green deck you want to play. Outside of that, we are going to go to the cards that are bridging the gap between Modern and Legacy that are being added. We have a couple here. First off, we have Enchantress's Presence, which is coming, this is what's going to make Enchantress maybe a deck.
Yeah, you can play, I believe there's a white Enchantress that's legal in Modern already. Now you have the enchantment version, which doesn't die to removal. If there's, you have a couple other payoffs for enchantments in this set as well. It's going to be a completely new deck, so I don't really know where it's going to go. But if it goes anywhere, this is going to be a key piece.
Next up, we have Hunting Pack, which I've never seen before, but it has Storm, so it's on the list.
Yeah, maybe some more Stormwind conditions. Like, it's important to be aware of these things. This one's kind of expensive, but you really don't need a lot of Storm for this to be a good deal. Like, just like Ritual this, 3/4/4s. It's a good sideboard plan, maybe.
Yep. Next up, we have, like we were saying, with the red evoke creature that a lot of the time at the end of the spoiler season, the stuff that they save for that isn't really good. This one kind of came off the top rope. It is Titania, Protector of Argoth. This card is sick.
Yeah, this card.
I really like this card. This card, and then there's another card that's a colorless that's going to come up, the Zuran Orb, that might make like Knight of the Reliquary like actually a playable thing again.
Yeah, our friend Xwell, who's a Magic Online grinder, was trying to make this work. Don't know how successful he was. It's a little bit early. The thing about this card is that we've only seen it in formats that have a Wasteland. But, like, you know, bringing back a fetch land will still generate a lot of board presence very fast. So this will be a friends with Knight of the Reliquary. Probably Primeval Titan is a way to increase, like, it's a good way to increase your threat density. Summoner's Pact gets this if you need just, like, a bunch of beef. It dies to Bolt, but it usually can leave behind some value as well, though.
It's pretty sick with Scape Shift.
Yeah, I think there are other things that.
Well, you're gonna just kill them if you
kill
use
your
Scape
opponent
Shift,
with
but like,
Scape.
hey, by the way, I'm putting 10 5/3s into play. Like, suck it.
Oh yeah.
Okie dokie. Outside of that, let's see what's the last card. It's Yavimaya Elder, which is an EDH All-Star. If you need that card for EDH, get it, but
Well,
not like
they're
the-
better value 3-drops.
not likely for Modern.
Yeah.
But that's it for our green set review for Modern Horizons 2. Not a lot of beef, not a lot of 3-mana 4/4s. I'm very sad about
A
that.
little bit more utility end of things.
A lot of utility stuff, but there are still some good cards, and it has my favorite card in the set in the video in the New Noble Hierarch. But that'll do it from Eli and I to you for now. Make sure to check out our other reviews for Modern Horizons 2, and we will see you again real soon. Thanks for watching.